In part 5 of my series, Soul Purpose Astrology, I'm going to talk about the part of fortune. Like the part or lot of spirit, the part of fortune is calculated by some fancy mathematics relating to the ascendant, the sun, and the moon. For the part of fortune, the key figure, key player in that mathematics is the moon. In the part of spirit, the key player is the sun. So again, if you go to astro-seek.com, you can calculate for yourself using their system. You can find out what your part of fortune would be. Now, the part of fortune has had a lot of things associated with it. And some people have called it the pot of gold at the end of your rainbow. Some people have called it the part of joy, or where you find your bliss. And I think it's a really significant player in the chart alongside the Daimon, because it's where you find the blessings. And one of the most important books that I ever read about the part of fortune, which was so inspiring for me personally, was Karmic Astrology series, volume 3, Joy and the Part of Fortune. So I'm going to quote one or two things from this book, because I think Martin Schulman puts it so well and so usefully. So he says, on a very simplistic level, the part of fortune can be considered a lucky spot in the horoscope and a source of opportunity through which one may achieve your greatest desires. But the idea of luck or opportunity or fulfillment and completion is an abstract unless a person makes efforts towards the goal. So that's a bit like having a kind of sense of the law of attraction, but if you just pin the pictures on the wall, something can happen magically, and you don't actually bother to do anything yourself. You don't set up some kind of opportunity and follow it through. So the idea that every individual has an equal chance in God's eyes, in the eyes of the divine, that idea that everyone can be happy is an idea for those whose efforts make this seemingly intangible concept a mysterious kind of, how can I get hold of that? It just sounds like luck and fortune, and you know, the statue of fortune has a blindfold sometimes. So how can you make that real, right? So he says the part of fortune works a bit like this. It's there for the taking, but you have to work for it. And he says there's always a divine blessing hidden behind the part of fortune. The question is of the individual's ability to receive this blessing, and that depends on whether your life is focused on the highest ideals. If you don't focus on the highest ideals, then you can be easily distracted by, you know, everyday material things. And naturally, he says, the degree of blessing varies with the individual. And if the expectations are on a material plane, then the part of fortune will operate materially. And if the expectations are spiritual, the part of fortune will operate spiritually. And so the people who try to exert control over the part of fortune, I want it, this is what I'm grasping for, they are try to control what part of fortune is offering them, this will limit the possibilities. But when you are in a state of trust and respect that all the factors, all the circumstances of your life are designed for your ultimate good, then you are adding to the infinite possibilities that the part of fortune can bring. And with that kind of outlook, what is brought to you could be beyond your expectations. Now, he also says, but I wanted, this is the other bit that I was going to quote from. A person can learn how to use all of the planetary energies and focus them on the area of the soul's greatest longing. And the part of fortune becomes a focal determinator, which helps you look beyond the concrete mind and what you perceive as material gain, and creates a proper perspective for opening up your higher or your intuitive mind. So you can see how the part of fortune is the place of blessings. And the Daimon, which I spoke about in the previous video, the Daimon is the guide who's watching over you. So the two of them together are crucial to the understanding of how your soul can succeed and bring into this world the blessings that you're carrying with you. We're all carrying blessings with us. That's what souls do. How those blessings can be expressed in the world, whether it's, through art, through healing, through being an athlete, being a dancer, being a musician, being a parent, all those things you can bring into the world are blessings, and you must be able to give them freely without fear, and have the confidence that the best possible opportunities will be there for you. When you work with the Daimon and you work with the part of fortune, then you start to see the real magic that can happen in your life. Many blessings, and see you again soon.